All right, welcome back to my WWF LJN Customs channel, where this time is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to do something that I have never showed you before, besides my workshop being a virtual disaster, because I learned how to do resin molds. Yay! Now, this is something that I've seen a lot of people do. I think some people charge quite a bit for some of the stuff that they do, but that's okay because it's a lot of work that's actually involved, and I'm touching stuff that I probably shouldn't be touching yet. So anyways, I got a molding kit over the last couple days, and it is something that I saw on a video on YouTube, and I can share the link with you about it. But I ended up by getting a kit of a casting, which is the second part, and then a compound to make the rubber umu in the first part of it. Playing with a glue gun, making little boxes up. So I learned a lot. I watched this video like 4 different times. And I'm like, you know what? I think I can really do this. So I actually made a couple of molds over yesterday. One for Brock Lesnar. Excuse me. One for Dude Love. And this is a little bit of rubbery material. I pour my resin material into it. And in about 10 minutes later, out popped Brock Lesnar. So I think this is pretty cool because now I can basically make my own heads once I get the design for it. Now I don't really have any interest or want to sell these things, but I thought that this would be something good, especially if you find something online that might work for a head, like say this for Refrigerator Perry, or I got someone sent me in a little pack a Dude Love. You can see that well enough. Some molded to Do Love. A little bit of trial and error again. And I actually I have a Godzilla. I have 2 Godzillas. And one has no hands. So I thought about trying to mold hands for them so that they could actually work. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a work in progress. I've already got the box made up for the hand there. And I got another box there, and I'll walk you through all this stuff once I get it all said and done. So, my goal, trial and error, and some people are going to get mad about this or yelly. I'm going to take a Sergeant Slaughter. I'm going to mold him. Now, this is one that I have already made up and touched up, and it's my own personal one, so I'm not really worried about it, because if I need to fix it, I know that I have the power to fix it. So what I will first have to do is I will have to make a box for good old Sergeant Slaughter to be able to stand in. So that's what I'm going to do first. Now, again, if I do anything bad with it, A, it wasn't perfect, it was redone anyways, and B, it's mine, so I don't care. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to make up good old Sergeant Slaughter. Okay, so here is the second part of this video. Let me turn my Buckeyes game down. Yeah, I'm a Buckeye fan. Sorry. Not sorry. So I have to build a box. Reason why you have to build a box, very similar to what is here. That is because you put your item in, which would be your head. So one of the heads is sitting down into here. And then you pour this on top of it, and it has to get to a rubbery consistency. So then what happens is, and you got to have a box so it doesn't all pour out. Now notice I have a little bit out here, but that's okay. It doesn't matter because I put enough in there. And so in the end, you take all that stuff off, and then you end up with your little mold right here. So I'm going to try Sergeant Slaughter. So what I had to do is spend like an hour building this stupid box, and hopefully it works out well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this stuff, and I'm going to pour it on top. Now it has to be taller because I want it above his head so that when I cut him open and pour the stuff in, probably from the feet down, then I have to cover everything up. Now you put them in feet first because that's the flat part. So if that's just the top and it's flattened out, there's no detail at the bottom of the foot, so that's the way it is. So what I've done is I've concocted this box, and yes, look at my old ancient clamps, because I can't find my hand clamps around here. Somebody stole my little clamps, and not those ones. But so count on my dad, who's passed a while ago, but I always use his tools and always find stuff to use, and so he's still watching me from above, and I appreciate that, Pops. So I'm going to mix my stuff. I'm going to pour it on top of here. So hopefully everything is well in place. I'm not going to get many leaks. I've also glued on the inside of this. So hopefully it works. Okay, so I did the old bait and switch. I decided not to do the Sergeant Slaughter. I know you're all disappointed. But the problem is I realized how much of this compound I'm going to need just to do the one figure. I don't have enough. So if I mix it, that's going to be problematic. So instead, let's just do my Mr. T head that I have down there. Yeah, so I'm going to do the Mr. T head. So what I do is I have these two parts. Okay, so this is going to be the rubber setup. That's going to make my mold. It's one part each. So all I do is I put it in a measuring cup, and I put in about 3 ounces of each. So what I need to do now is I need to stir it. So normally I just take a stirring stick, if I can find one. There, I should have one here. It's got a bunch of dust and crap on it, so maybe I want to go get another one. Or, yeah, I'll go get another one. All right, so once I have mixed this up well, you want to make sure that it just gets into the one color, even though it starts off half blue anyways, it's still going to end up being blue. Clean my little stick off. And actually, I forgot a step. Yeah, I'm going to tape the seams on this real quick. Just using some tape. Okay, so tape the seams up, and then I just pour it on top of his head. And I'm going to make sure that it gets all the way above the top of his mohawk. So chances are I'm going to use all of this. I don't have to make more, but I might have to. I might not have gotten well enough above his mohawk. Okay, I'm going to put this down for a second because I've got a little bit more to get out of here. All right, so now here's what the deal is. So now I've got it well above his head. And so what will happen, and I'll show you this later, is that after 9 hours, so I'll have to do this tomorrow morning, I will peel off the white, which I'll do there. And then what I'll have left is a block that looks similar to this. So then all I would have to do is cut out the head, and I'll show you a way to do it. And then you have to pour in a combination of this stuff, which you don't have to use nearly as much because you're only filling the hole in the box. And then 10 minutes later, voila, you've got a hardened mold for a head. So again, I'll show you all that stuff when the time comes. Right now, I'm going to go take a nap or finish the Buckeye game or whatever. So I just have a lot of waiting to do on this as it sets up and creates my little blue box. All right, so now I've waited the 9 hours, actually quite a bit longer. So all I need to do now is I need to break this box apart. So I'll just pull out the sides and I'll have some blue on here. So I have this blue rubber box. And so all I'll do here is just for my OCD's sake. So I'm going to square out the sides, get the fringe stuff off. It's probably just where it leaked off a little bit. I'm going to pause it and do this. Okay, so I've got my little box here. Now this is going to be what I keep, much like these. Now it's a little bit bigger because my Mr. T head was bigger too. So I need to cut a little zigzaggy pattern and then a straight pattern here and kind of take out the hole here where the top of his, or the bottom of his head actually is. So I'm going to again put this down and show you. Okay, so the idea of this, of me cutting the straight line there, and then zigzag, you can see that on these two sides, but not all the way down, is so that I can pry this thing out. Because you don't want a bunch of gaps in this thing, you don't want it huge, you want it to pop out so that when you do the mold of this, everything will be fine. So let me put this down again, and I'll pop this thing out. See, I pry it, and it'll pop right out. Okay, so here's Mr. T's head. Now this is the original. Paint didn't bother, nothing at all. Nothing at all. And I only had a painted one anyways. So now what I've got is this hole here. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the parts B, which is called smooth cast. I figured out that I don't need a lot of this to do one. I think I did 4 ounces I did 2 ounces last time. I think it went forever. So I have 25 of these plastic cups, and you can get them for like $7.50 on eBay or Walmart or Amazon. There you go. And so it marks it on the side of the cup. So what I have is I'll grab an extra. Like I figure somebody else might want a pallbearer. So I'll grab a pallbearer and I'll grab Brock. And I label these so because I'm dumb and I forget which one is which. So it's the same thing as the others. It's 2 parts. So I shake them up a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll do 1 ounce each in this, and we'll see how far it goes. So now I'm going to take my little stir stick. I'm going to stir this for a little while. Make sure all the parts are good. I actually did about 1.25 of each because I didn't have it on a flat surface and I rushed it. Now this will go quite a bit. Okay, that second part. That first part, that's the stuff that takes forever because you can see how much that blue is sitting right there. That's the stuff that I'm going to need the most of. This stuff, not so much, I suppose. All right, so now that it's stirred, actually, I want to do something here. Let me put this down. All right, so I tried to tape it, but this tape isn't working real well on this rubber, so here we go. Now you have to do this fairly quick because this stuff sets like crazy. And you're going to fill it all the way up to the top. So there we go. So I have some extra, so I'll do some pallbearer. All the way up to the top. And now I'll do some Brock. See, they got me about 3 right there. I think I might have enough for a 4th. Let me grab my other guy. Brother Love's kind of big, so I don't know if I'll have enough for Brother Love, but I can sure try. Gonna be close. Hope I don't have to mix more. Come on, Brother Love. It's right getting warm in my hand here. Gonna be close. Still coming out. I might have to do a little quick extra part. Okay, so now here's what I've done. You can see that it's already turning. So it's doing that, having that chemical reaction inside of it. I don't have any drip through or runoff, it looks like. I do have a little bit of runoff up top. So I'm going to let this sit for about 10 minutes. And after the 10 minutes, I should be able to pop these guys out. And I should have 4 heads good to go, just like that. So you can do this process really, really quickly. Right, so Mr. T has sat for long enough. So let's pull him out. You know, oh, that one's a little soft. The other ones are pretty hard here, so I'm gonna set this down again. And there you go. Pulled him out just like I had before. There's Mr. T. Looks like he needs a little touch up on his nose. Got a little dent there, but we can take care of that with some epoxy or something. So there is Mr. T. Pallbearer should be set. Give me a second. And there's pallbearer. So, hope you learned something. I've had fun. Pretty cool to learn how to do this, and I'm going to keep doing it so I don't have to keep buying so many heads. Thanks for watching my channel.